I saw a topic of discussion on Facebook.
Okay.
This guy Lee Scoggins. I guess he was talking about a video that Darko Audio made about like diminishing returns in audio.
Okay.
And I haven't watched the video. So I'm assuming that Darko said that there are diminishing returns because this guy was saying that he disagrees that there are not diminishing returns in audio. And I have opinions on that. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think about that? Because I guess let me just say what I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's nothing special about audio where there's like, you know, the laws of economics just don't apply to it. That's how I feel about it. You know, there's nothing special about it whatsoever. So diminishing returns, I've made a video about that because I remember Steve Guttenberg said something like that. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? There's always diminishing returns. And my example that I used was that if you go from no sound, not being able to hear any music, to a Bluetooth speaker, you know, $50 Bluetooth speaker. Well, that's a pretty nice increase. You go from hearing no music to some music.
Yeah.
To me, that's a huge increase. And if you were stuck on an island and you had the choice of like, oh, you got to have this Bluetooth speaker and, you know, you don't get to bring those focals right there, you're going to be like, yeah, I'd rather hear some music. That'd be good.
Yeah.
Right. And then the next step up from that would be you'd spend a little bit more from Bluetooth speaker, maybe get some like bookshelf speakers, right? And now you have stereo. Oh, okay, that's a good thing. It's a nice increase, but not as big of an increase as going from no sound, absolutely no sound, to some sound.
To sound, yeah.
Yeah, and then the next increase would be like, okay, I'm gonna get some nice tower speakers. Okay, cool. Now you have bass.
Yeah. Well, you missed one step.
Okay,
right?
What's the next step?
Which is a lot of people do is they go from TV sound to a sound bar.
Sound bar.
Right. So that would kind of be, and then from there maybe they go to actual speakers.
Yeah.
Right. It all depends on where they start. Right.
All those steps are, you know, they're increases. They're definitely an improvement from going from one to the other. You know, if you had a TV had no sound, you'd be a little bit annoyed.
No,
you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, going to a TV speakers, you're going to be happy. Oh, cool, I'm getting sound. But the cost to go from one to the other starts to get higher and higher, right?
Yeah.
To get to the next improvement,
to get to the next level, you gotta it does cost money.
So at a certain point, you know, if you have great speakers already, what are you going to do to improve the sound now? You have room treatment up. What's your next move, right? That's why people go to these cables and like silly stuff because they don't even know what to spend on anymore.
They go to what?
Cables.
Oh, they go to cables.
Cables.
Well, I mean,
risers.
I thought you were gonna say they go to like shows like Expona. By the way, my Expona recap video is almost done. It's almost done, guys, and it's gonna be funny because you'll see me in this room, you know, facing the other direction where you can actually see the speakers behind me. And then halfway through the video, it'll totally change to from one set to another set. I tried to make it as like you'll know, you guys will notice it. I don't know if anybody else will, but you know, going to a show like that, it just makes me appreciate what I have here. You know, because of how much this stuff costs. And like I was telling Joe, like I needed a third. Well, I didn't need one, but like you know, I ended up getting a third T6 tower for $150. $150. And I can't imagine spending a bunch of money on this front stage I'm looking at right now and having like the same experience unless I was spending like $3,000. Right. And for me, that's just not that's not happening. And B, like, I don't even know if it's going to be worth it or not. You know?
Yeah.
So I think diminishing returns is definitely there. And I don't think spending more money on newer speakers is going to actually get you a better sound It's all about like dialing in what you have, and starting off with something good. Right?
Yeah, it's crazy because I posted the video today about target curves, and some people are just kind of like, yeah, I've seen people say, oh, it's too expensive, right? So, starts at 249 for Magic Beans. It's like, is that really expensive when people are spending tens of thousands of dollars to try to? I don't know. I don't even know what they're doing, man. Like, what kind of stuff are they doing to try to improve their system? Like, spending on silly stuff, right? That's not really going to do anything. But people complain about $250 on something that actually will improve the sound. That's where it gets crazy for me, because there's so much misinformation there. They'd rather spend on something that won't do anything.
I mean, this thing that looks all weird because of the green screen.
It looks like
Spider-Man mask or something, but you can't see my eyes. So, this thing's only $100, and people are complaining about that as well.
I guess maybe you should just charge more, because maybe if you charge, like, instead of $100, if you just went crazy and said, like, this disc, like, maybe do like a gold foil insert and then charge like $1,000. Like, oh, there's gold in there. There's a golden ticket. Maybe put a golden
ticket. Exactly.
So then these people will get excited to buy it. It's just silly to me to think that there's no such thing as diminishing returns in audio.
Yeah. Chris Hamilton says, I definitely feel there are diminishing returns, but that doesn't mean it's not of value to someone. And
exactly.
This is totally true. It's on how you value it, right? Like if I have this pair of focals behind me, right? I would love to have these speakers in my home at some point. Is that a reality? Probably, maybe because I'm going to do big things. But at the end of the day, like $300,000 for a pair of speakers, there's definitely diminishing returns. What other things could I spend $300,000 on that are going to bring me way more joy, than a pair of speakers?
Right. And the tricky part of this, why it's even a debate, is because you can't put a dollar amount on somebody's subjective joy, right?
Sure.
So if somebody put in some cables that do absolutely nothing, but they're so happy about it and they want to show it off to their friends, and that makes them feel good, I can't personally put a price tag on that. Like, that's this person's subjective feeling towards it, right? And same thing, let's say if they do get something that makes a difference, let's say they get some better speakers, right? Maybe that means a lot to them for some reason. Like, for example, so I use the example of, let's talk about Porsche, right? Let's talk about cars, because that's a very expensive car, I would say.
Yeah.
There's a difference, though. It's not about getting from point A to point B when it comes to that. It's about something else, right?
It's about the driving experience.
It's about.
I mean, for me, that's what it is.
Driving experience, getting something that is expensive, that you work hard to get. It means a lot more. But it's, how many other normal cars could you get for that price? You know what I mean?
A lot. I mean,
for like a couple hundred G's. How many normal cars could you probably get? Like
four. You can get four like $20,000, $25,000 cars, right? Oh no, four $50,000 cars. You can get four $50,000. That's pretty. That's
like
pretty.
A $30,000 car, and you get a $300,000 Porsche. You get 10 of them.
Yeah,
so you can give out 10 cars. You can give out 9 cars and keep one for yourself. Right. So definitely, it's totally something different, right? You're saying something different with it, but it's hard to justify just based on like pure numbers, right? Mm-hmm. And another example I gave in my response was to a Formula One driver, aerodynamics and making it like 0.1% faster may be the difference between winning and losing.
Yeah.
But you do that to the minivan, who cares? little bit of nobody cares. Right?
I don't know. Depends on what's in that minivan, Joe.
Oh, I guess, right? I'll be like, hey, I've saved 50 cents on gas. New aerodynamics.
Yeah.
It all that has to be taken into consideration. Like, I just don't see how there's no such thing as diminishing returns, but I can see how, certain improvements that are minimal might mean a lot or might be worth a lot to some people, and they're willing to spend their money. That's their money.
Yeah.
What do you guys think in the comments? What are you guys saying over here?
They went into a bunch of talk about edibles. Edibles.
Why?
Just use TV speakers. All right, here. Let's see what the newer ones.
Is that a high return on investment? If edibles are a high return on investment, like your whole, I guess maybe your whole experience, right?
Yeah, it's the experience. Diamond encrusted speakers is next. The diamonds improve resonance. Nicholas says $1,000 in someone's life is $10,000 in another's. Yeah. We're all on different levels. $400,000 for cable risers. True voice of reason.
So here's the other thing about like this law of diminishing returns, right?
Sure.
So let's say this person got these like $400,000 cable risers, and they're like, man, this improved my life so much. Like my listening experience is so much better. I can't believe it. And then if I tell them, all right, then buy 10 more. It'd be like, I only have 2 speakers. They're like, well, if 2 made your life better, then buy 10 or 20 more. Like, no, I don't need it. Exactly. Because there's diminishing marginal utility for you, right? You don't need that extra one.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah. Michael Squire says it's the same comparison of a Tesla versus a full-size truck. Both cost about the same, depends on what you need or want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Listen.
What is Chris Hamilton saying here?
Chris Hamilton is saying most people know what a Porsche is and what it means. Wilson Chronosonics means nothing to the majority of the population.
Yeah.
Is that a watch?
Chronosonics, yeah, maybe.
Looks like, right?
Wilson Audio, yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Oh, Wilson Audio, yeah. I mean, we're going to be
silly debate, you know.
I don't think there should be a debate. There is no debate. There's just there are diminishing returns, and there are. That's it. There's no up for debate on anything, right? Especially in audio.
How about this as an example? If you take that guy and he put him on an island, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or this audiophile guy, and he's starving, can't wait to eat, right? And you tell him, all right, I can either give you, these cable risers that are worth 400 G's, or this burger from Burger King, worth like $6. If you're starving, you can take that burger, and you're going to take the water too. You know what I mean? A bottle of water, that means much more to you. So it all depends, right? It's silly talk. I don't know what these guys are talking about.
Yeah.
I think it's, you know what I think it is really? I think it's a lot of guys who are maybe in the industry who sell to these high-end clients, and they have to keep that going, right? You don't want to say, oh, of course, no, I'm not going to tell you the truth.
This doesn't do shit.
Not if they're in this industry, not if their job is to sell that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that's what it is.
I mean, did you see the did you guys see the everybody here, the new JVC projectors are coming out now?
Oh,
new? Yeah, you know, the 8K projectors.
8K.
I think that's what it is. So here's the funny part. In a Facebook group, somebody's like, oh my God, I can't wait to see what the reviews of these are all going to be. I went in there and said, spoiler alert, all reviewers are going to say these are the best things since the last projectors.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what do we need a newer 8K projector for from the last one, which was like a year and a half ago, if that, from JVC. So what are we talking about? $25,000? Like the market for I would like to think that the market for that kind of a thing is small, but I mean, there's enough people buying these things that they're making it again, right? Like with a little bit of adjustment. Same thing with the Revolution player, right? I have the Revolution Player 1. I still have to put my video out on it. It's like halfway done.
Yeah.
And now they're like, there's the 8K version. Well, what the hell do we need an 8K version of for 4K movie server?
All right.
So Marv says it's 10% brighter. There. Okay, so perfect example. You bought a $25,000 projector a year and a half ago. Are you going to upgrade now because it's 10% brighter? Right? Is there a point of diminishing returns here? I think so. I think this is what.
So, when I had my retail shop, we'd have some expensive stuff too that was unnecessarily expensive, right?
Yeah, because you have to. Stuff. Right. You have the ABC, right? You have the cheap stuff, the super expensive stuff, and the middle stuff. That's what everybody buys, right?
And sometimes ridiculous expensive stuff, like unnecessarily expensive. And when somebody would come in, they'd have their mindset. Let's say on the expensive one, I'll be like, "You sure you need that? Like this other one is actually better. It's less expensive and actually better." Be like, "No, I want the other one." Okay, go ahead. You know what I mean? You're not going to argue with them.
Mm-hmm.
So some people just want the expensive thing. They want the exclusive thing.
Make sure to check out our audio-only version of the podcast at anchor.fm/Daily HiFi, or just go to your favorite podcasting service and search for Daily HiFi.